watch the news and keep up with what the government is doing and use that information to make my investment decisions, it's going okay. I'm trying to build low-income housing. Rare earth minerals have been in the news a lot lately, and people have asked me about them. So what are they? What are they for? Where are they from? What's going on with the tariffs? Why are they in the news? And should you invest in them? Let's talk about it. So rare earth minerals are basically rocks that contain one or more of these 17 elements. If you were to just look at these elements, you would not be able to tell them apart. They're all basically indistinguishable from each other by the naked eye. They're all just like white, silverish, soft metals. What makes them rare? They're often widely dispersed instead of appearing like in veins, like when you think of cartoon miners. So they're usually widely dispersed. They don't appear like in the veins you see in cartoons about mining and stuff like that. You know, you're never going to hit a vein of this kind of stuff. So it makes mining a lot more difficult, and it's harder to find the deposits where it'd be economically viable to actually create a mine. These elements are heavily used in our modern lives. They're in everything from your fluorescent and LED light bulbs to sound equipment like microphones, spaceships, cell phones, missiles, electronic cars. Most of these minerals are found in the US, China, Madagascar, Brazil, India, Australia, Greenland, Norway, Russia, and Canada. But China has provided 85 to 90% of the total of the world's rare earth elements since the late 90s. It's been big business for them. In like the early 2010s, they said they were going to cut back on their imports and focus on just keeping it internal for a while. So that's something we should have been keeping in mind for a long time now. Since the imports from China will probably most definitely be severely affected by tariffs, Australia and the US have recently signed a deal to invest about $3 billion in critical mining projects over the next 6 months. That's a pretty short turnaround. They're expecting to get $50 billion worth of returned resources from this. Another question I had is this going to go through? According to polls, most Australians rightfully hate Trump and really don't want to be aligned with him in any way. So is Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese going to be forced to backpedal at some point? I don't know. I'm not an Australian news junkie. I'm from a different hemisphere. If someone from that hemisphere can let me know kind of their thoughts on the whole subject, that'd be great. So after all that, should you invest in rare earth elements? So should you invest in rare earth elements? It seems like it's going up, right? Like it seems pretty promising. You also have to think, if you have any kind of moral scruples, you may also be thinking, what's the environmental impact of all of this? And that's a great question, because mining in itself is extremely dangerous, both for the environment and for the people involved. And when you're mining rare earth elements, again, like it's not like you can just dig a big hole in the ground and then suddenly there's all of this like metal that you can just like scoop out, right? It's distributed over large areas, which means you need large mines in order to actually harvest this stuff. So you really need to do your own research to figure out if this is something that you feel okay with investing in, or if this is something where you're just going to skip it and you'll catch the next thing that pops up, right? It seems pretty promising, but if you're one of those people who is worried about the fate of our planet and the people on it, you might skip this one. And I'm not a financial advisor. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm not in rare earth elements. I'm just some girl on the internet that likes to do research. You should definitely do your own, though. And just listen to me because I can pronounce 3-syllable words. You really need to look into this stuff for yourself. If you're interested in what I'm interested in, follow along. Let's see what else we can find.